Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mona J. If you're new here, please give me a subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, you already know. Kudos to you. Thank you for the support always. Sending barrels back home, sending things back home to sell. Those people back home, they like to waste people money. They don't know the value of our money. They do not. I'm sure we all want to do well. We all want to help our family back home, which is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. Since most of us have entered this country, a lot of us have helped our family. But this container sending, if you're not sending container for your house, maybe when you get there to furnish your own house, but if you're sending containers, spending thousands of dollars to get those things to those people. And when it get there, I don't know how many people can actually attest to it that, oh, I have sent my barrels back home and I made more than what I was expecting to get. I have not heard none. But if you're one of the exception, let me know. So you can teach everyone the tricks on how you did it. As far as I'm concerned, I have not heard any story except you put a hold on your materials when they get to Liberia, when they get to Africa. Tell them not to open it until you are there. That's the only way. And that's if you're going to sell it yourself when you get to Africa. They don't know, even to get the barrels by yourself, it's expensive. $70, $75, $25, $55 for the barrels itself. If you want the wardrobe, they are a little cheaper from U-Haul, but you know those are cartoons. Once they get to Africa, you open it, either you charge them like how long it's gonna last you. It's not gonna last you compared to the actual barrels that you can use when the building. You use it for water and you use it for other things. So those are expensive, and to ship it, some of those shippers be charging a lot. You pay 1,200 depending on how many things you are sending. Some people spend $2,000, $3,000 to get those things to Africa, and in the end, there's no good results. And then when you ask, talking about we are those we are things you're saying for America, y'all know things that come from America now they're we are. After they take those things that they like and sell, get the money, use it, the rest of the things are we are. I sent 7 barrels home for them to sell. In my thought to open a boutique, which I actually did. I sent those stuff. I paid for a space for them to sell. So the first thing that I sent, because I didn't find a place yet, I let them keep it for a long time. Some of those clothes, they got ruined. Yeah, that was my fault because I just didn't want it to open them if I don't have a place for them to put it. I know everybody was going to start picking out of it. At the end of the day, there will be no accountability as to who took what. So for that reason, I told them not to open it. And when I finally got the spot, and also the spot that I got, because my mind was for everything to be in the same place, that won't be too much of back and forth. Who's going to the bar and who's going to go to the boutique? So I got a little space at the same place where my shop used to be. And when I sent the last things and I put them into the shop, I didn't have anyone to help me to stay in the shop. And sad thing, my sister lived a walking distance, 3 minutes from, opposite the bar, Winston. That's the same place I have the clothing store. And I asked if one of their children could help me. At that time, they were in school, so that way somebody needs to be there while my brother is in the shop. He's gonna be monitoring the little girl. When they didn't really say okay, but when she come, they will send for her like every 5 minutes. She needs to wash dishes. She needs to do clothes. They have 2 girls. Imagine no one could help me to stay in the shop. Nobody. So my brother was in the shop at the same time he was selling the clothes. But long story short, in the end, after everything that I sent, only God knows how much I spent. $2,480. That's what I got out of everything. Well, there was still stuff in the shop. So the $480 went back to the shop who paid for the space. I told him to pay for the space because he told me that's the amount he had. So one minute when the shop opened, my brother couldn't do both. He was just back and forth. The things are there. I'm begging, asking people everywhere to see if they can help me. There was no one. The bar at that time, it was really busy, so he couldn't do both. So it was closed. When I got there, guess what? When I said I was closing the shop, all of them were happy. Why? Because everybody was coming in to get their own stuff. My sister, who's across the place I'm talking about, with two girls in the house, she came getting stuff for her member in the church. My sister then packing bags to take some things to Nima. It was so easy for them to just give everything away. People were just coming getting stuff. When I got home, I was just crying. They don't see the benefits. They don't see how those little things will also help them financially. If you have a problem, you think I won't tell him, okay, go to this person or go to a gym, he's gonna give you this amount to take care of the problems. But no, they don't see it that way. Everybody was willing to take everything they wanted. The rest of it, I took them in a house. And there was one day I was really angry. So I was walking down the road, like right there, shoe factory in Bannersville Junction. So I was walking past there's a little shop right there. I said, those clothes look like they're from Walmart. And I saw those hangers, the Walmart, the hanger box, that blue and white box. I entered into the shop and nosing me. She was playing Candy Crush. I was like, this person had to be American. The fact that she's playing Candy Crush. I'm not saying people over there don't have Candy Crush, but I used to be obsessed with Candy Crush. So I went and asked her. We started talking. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania." She's like, "I've been here for 8 months already." The lady sent her material. She started explaining to me. She said, "Oh, I have to come myself to sell those things because the first things I sent, even my husband's here, he couldn't help. Every day it's a different story with the other people that are helping him. I spent a lot of money on my daughter. She's an older woman. I'm trying to relocate to Liberia. So I send those things I here to be selling. When the shop is picking up, then I can do other things. I send those stuff. My husband, story. Nothing goes. So the second container that I sent before they go get here, I decided to stay here for at least 8 months to be able to sell everything to get my money back before I can go back. When I met her, she told me she was going the following she was coming back to America in August because it was July. But that's the story she told me. It's so heartbreaking. Even your own husband. Some of us that have our spouses over there, they're not even willing to help because they see those things as they're nothing. It's not something they see themselves doing. It's petty business. But guess what? Petty business. You send it to them, they don't have the use. But when other people are selling it, then they go there and buy it. Like, what's the logic in it? And I'm sure she's not the only person. I'm not the only person. Even my own sister. My sister spent a lot of money. They sent container. Me, I sent barrels. They sent a container that cost them 6,000 plus. If I tell you, my sister garage was full. Out of everything she sent, almost 10,000 plus they spent. My sister, God bless her, she only got 1,000 back. The woman that she entrusted with everything, so things she feel like they were okay by her, she sold them. The rest of them, did you know my sister's shop was not even open? They sold whatever they could sell and they closed the shop. because no one to go there. And she couldn't even call my sister to tell my sister. The place was closed until my sister got to Liberia. She started selling everything cheap, cheap. $1, $2, $5. But imagine, they said that only $1,000 they made out of everything. Someone spent $10,000. They say you get $1,000 for them. Now witchcraft behavior there. Why are we doing those things to our own people? And people that are helping you, they pay your bills, they pay your rent, they buy you food, sponsor your children in school. But one tiny favor that they ask you can't even come through. Most of you can't even come through just because it's not for you. It's not your own money. I don't know why you feel like it's not for you. The person that way in America here, when would they go to Africa? Even those are building houses that the family don't want to help. If that house is fixed, who's going to live in it? It's not you. How many times this person will leave from America to go to Africa? You guys don't think. You guys are not thinking. Same thing with my brother. I cannot talk about it, but he said he's no longer sending anything back home. You know, when you go to Africa and come back, you feel like, oh, wow, people are actually suffering over there. So I'm going to encourage somebody to buy this thing, because to go buy peanut butter, the peanut butter, they sell them in a plastic. You know how the Mandingo people, you do it, they put them in a plastic tile like that. $50 LD or $20. That's how much they sell them. So if you go and see things like that, like they or stuff like that, and be like, oh, okay, this will make money, that will make money. You just start to think, let me send those things back when they're beneficial to people. People is gonna buy them because we're buying from the Mandingo people anyway. I'm not saying it's wrong, but why we Liberian, we can do it as well. Then when you send those stuff now, they feel like the money is just here. Then they just kill your spirit. It's always gonna be story from one thing to another. It's always story. If you know how much we spent, or some of us spent, to send those stuff. If you say you're sending peanut butter carton, do you even know? Because some of us, I don't have full license. If you say you're going to same club, you're going to Walmart, HEB, Costco, and all those places to buy those stuff, they are expensive. But it's just because we want to have something going back home. But then when you send those stuff, there's no value. They don't value the money that was spent to get those things to Liberia or to Africa. I'm not saying you can send your goods, but if you're not there, if you're successful in sending barrels and it's working fine for you, that's good. I'm happy. And that's how it's supposed to be. But some of us, we're not just being lucky enough to find people who are willing to help. So if you're in my shoes that have been sending barrels full stuff back home, in the end there's no results, your money just going in vain, I'm sorry, oh my dear brothers and sisters. If you're not going to be there to open your barrels to sell your stuff, stop sending things home. Save your money or put it on your other projects. Yeah, your house, if you're building a house, or if you're doing other things. But sending food stuff and clothing back home, where when we spend tons of money and send those things, and they call them we are my own, that's why they were calling them the rest of the thing I left. Say, oh, the rest of the thing, the cartoon, I just we are I went there. I took something that they don't know how to work out. Then they say that we are. I wore my dress, and my brother was like, oh, but the dress nice. Oh, when I first saw it, I thought that we are. Oh, so my dear, I'm saving my money from sending barrels. They're not even seeing my name. Say I sent boxes. They beep it up name from Walmart, filled with cereal, anything you think of, chocolate, candy, and all those stuff. I mean, any sweet that you think of. Boxes, suitcases that are filled with food stuff, napkin, tissue, and all those stuff. I don't even know how the foods have finished before I got to Liberia. All the cereals were gone before I got to Liberia. They're so good, are doing good to other people. They will take the stuff, and give them away because they have a lot. But me not sending stuff, you think I don't know the value? I send them when I get there to use it. But in the end, before I could even get to Liberia, everything was gone. They Samaritan and they finished doing good with everything. My people, that's all I have for today. With that being said, have a blessed day and stay tuned always. Peace.